Welcome to Friday. And this is my version of singing. I've been listening to Chris prep here, and it is Entertainment Friday. And that's as close as I can get to doing anything related to music and singing. It is episode 35, and we have Chris Ferrara. And so you remember it like I did. It's like Ferrari, but with an A. Chris delivers a combination of city boy swagger and country boy soul. You've toured nationally and internationally and shared stages with Florida Georgia Line and Lee Brice, Train, Matchbox 20, Sister Hazel. This is great. Typically, you're backed by your 7-piece band, The Common Good, and your music draws from an eclectic mix of influences. We are so psyched to have you here. And one of the things that I absolutely love that you've been doing is you've been raising awareness and funds for various programs and individuals. You've donated to the veterans, disaster victims, fire departments, disability programs, and many others. And when you mentioned to us that you've been raising money for Beth Israel's Heroes Fund, what is it, the Heroes?
It's the Beth Israel Deaconess, I believe it's the COVID-19 Response Fund.
Okay, and our client, Wicked Dog Apparel, which we are both wearing our Wicked Dog shirts, and they have their masks on. See the dogs, their masks.
Stay safe, stay wicked.
That's right. That is a Boston-based brand of apparel, Wicked Dog Apparel, and they have been donating 100% of the proceeds to the same group at Beth Israel, the healthcare fund. And so if you see these t-shirts and you think, I want that, and I want 100% of the proceeds of those shirts to go to Beth Israel, then by all means, click through and get your shirt too. But Chris, thank you so much for being here today. We love our Fridays. And you're a Boston boy yourself, just like us.
Yes, born and raised.
Red Sox.
If you see these, always.
I want that, and I want 100% of the proceeds of this shirt. Oh, I'm hearing a feedback on that. There you go. You got that? Is that you? So with that, Sox, are you going to watch the Red Sox on TV when there's no one in the stands?
Sure. I watch them when there's people in the stands. I might as well watch them when there's no one in the stands. It's all the same for me.
That's what I was listening to in the news this morning is how are we going to watch our sports when no one's in the stands? And I was thinking about that when I saw your Red Sox hat. It's going into summertime. And
if you're watching them on TV, you're watching them the same way no matter what. The only thing that changes is for the players, and they can't, they're just playing for nobody, which is like practice. So it's like you're at a scrimmage, like you're back in high school again.
Except for playing for a lot more money.
Yes, except there's a lot of dollar signs in there.
That's right. So what brought you from Boston to Nashville?
I have been pursuing music for a long time, and in 2012, I got offered a job to become the background vocalist and rhythm guitar player for a country artist named Joe Bachman. Wow. And he told me I was working in South Boston for a company called Rue La La, working for them in the shipping department. And my guy Joe said, hey, I'm going to give you a job, but you're going to have to move to Nashville. And I said, okay. Well, tell me when. And 6 months later, I was here, and I've been here ever since.
Awesome.
Just celebrated my 7-year anniversary here.
And you've been working as a full-time musician. You've been killing it. And you've been
certainly trying. Certainly a lot of ups and downs with it, but it's been my full-time job playing music for the last almost 8 years now. So
tell us about your touring and who you played with and how much you love it.
Sure. When I first got started, we were touring nonstop. I was spending close to 300 to 330 days a year on the road. I had a house in Nashville that had my stuff in it. I never saw it. I never slept in my own bed. We toured coast to coast. We toured internationally. Still do. I tour East Coast, West Coast with my new band, but I've toured and opened for Sister Hazel. We did a cruise with them last year in February called the Rock Boat, which was a lot of fun. I've shared stages with it said in there Lee Brice. He's played my guitar on stage, and I sang harmonies for him in Maui. He was just up there, and same as with Mick Fleetwood. He jumped up and played with us. Opened for Florida Georgia Line and Alabama and all kinds. So it's been a lot of fun. The last 8 years have been a lot of fun.
And then now you're having a really good time playing from your living room.
Yeah. It's a little different. My road life is from my bedroom to my upstairs. So it's now I'm in my living room. So because it's easier to get the internet right here.
There you go. Well, that's good. Good streaming. So every time I think I've seen you with a different background. So at least you're keeping it fresh.
That's right. I have to. I think the next time if we do this again, I'll be out back on my patio having a fire outside. Who knows? Just got to
Yeah,
keep it fresh.
I love that. I need to mix it up a little bit more for mine too, now that it's getting a little warmer out. So, all right. So one of the things that we also love about you is you've been doing these Thursday night events where people can watch you live.
Yep.
You've been fundraising for different organizations.
Mhm.
Why? Why are you doing that?
My whole life I've had kind of the motto of if you can make at least one person's day better, then you're doing your job. And that's what I try to do every day. I've been doing that since I was a kid. And now I get to use that that same motto on my platform of being a musician, and I get to share that with the world. And so I figure I might as well use what I've been given, my job and what the skills that I have to try to raise money and raise awareness for the causes that need it. I've raised money for Beth Israel Deaconess. I've raised money for UMass Medical, for Vanderbilt University Medical Center here. And the list is always going to continue to go on. I do that with my music. Whenever I release a new song, the proceeds from the first week of sales go to whatever charity I've picked. I've helped. We did the first one. This first song I released, "Social," was we gave the proceeds to the Dennis Leary Firefighters Foundation, and because my brother's a firefighter, so that's a very soft place in my heart. But I figure if you're not using your platform for good, then you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You got to leave the world a little bit better than you found it.
That's great. That's actually a big part of my company too, is a lot of philanthropic work, a lot of giving back. Earlier this week, well, up till yesterday, we were raising money for Dana-Farber. We raised $16,000 this week for Dana-Farber. So
actually, the woman who was just on your show, works with my dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, that doesn't work directly with him, but he's met her and has had conversations with her. He works in Milford at the Dana-Farber Cancer Clinic there.
Oh, great. Yeah, she was the CEO. She was on yesterday, and we were talking about how families are managing right now with family members who have cancer and all the different steps that they've taken to protect their patients, which of course Beth Israel has too. And I think it's really great that you've been raising money for them. And I love that Wicked Dog has been too. If my team could just put up a link to the Wicked Dog t-shirts. So there we go. Those are those t-shirts. 100% is going to the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center Healthcare Heroes Fund. So great. You have a special song for us.
Yes.
Play it for us.
I absolutely will. This was my most recent release that I put out, and it's very appropriate for the times that we're living in right now. For so many people, especially those that are healthcare workers that have to leave and go and don't get to see their families as much as they would like to because they're working so hard. I grew up a blue-collar kid from Sharon, Massachusetts, and I wrote this song about my dad, and the second verse is about my fiance who had to deal with me being on the road all the time. So this song is called Today, Tomorrow, and I hope y'all enjoy it.
Love it.
Daddy always left in the morning, but he never hit the morning rush, working longer than the sun did to make sure we had enough. And I couldn't wait for Fridays, 'cause on the table he'd leave a note beside his empty cup of coffee were the words that he wrote. I know I'm not there all the time, but I hope you know you never leave my mind. These long days always seem to go so slow, they go so slow. And you'll be asleep when I get home, so I'll hear about today, tomorrow. Well, ain't it funny how a boy can grow up and fall into his old man's ways? I found a woman I could give my love to, and I put her heart in second place. Oh, but if this world were perfect, nah, she'd never be alone. And I'd never have to say goodnight through a text message on the telephone, saying I know I'm not there all the time, but I hope you know you never leave my mind. These long days always seem to go so slow, they go so slow. And you'll be asleep when I get home, so I'll hear about today, tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll lose track of keeping time. Tomorrow I'm all yours. Tomorrow you're all mine, you're all mine. 'Cause I know I'm not there all the time, but I hope you know you never leave my mind. All these long days always seem to go so slow, they go so slow. You'll be asleep when I get home, so I'll hear about today, tomorrow. I can't wait to hear about today, tomorrow. Tomorrow, oh, tomorrow, tomorrow. Daddy always left in the morning, but he never hit the morning rush.
Love, love, love.
There you go. Thank you so much.
I know you were doing your quieter song first for us, and then you were going to take us out real hard later.
Yeah, I don't know about hard, but we're gonna have we'll have some fun. We'll get a good lunch break in.
That's awesome. What's your favorite part about what you do?
My favorite part about what I do is the one thing that I can't do at all right now, which is reach out and touch people.
Yep.
The connection that you get in a crowd and singing to people. My job is to make sure that the person who's having the least amount of fun have the time of their life.
Sure.
And I've got a lot of practice doing it, and I've become really good at it, and I can't do it at all right now. I have to do it all through through comments, and it's not the same. So that's what I miss.
We encourage people to put comments on the side and ask questions too. So the other thing you were talking about is that you're basically playing to a camera instead of playing to other people.
I'm playing to my wall. I'm playing to my ring light, to my wall, to my door, to empty space. And I've played at bars when there's been no one there, but it's still, you're on a stage. This is when I'm in my house, it's just not the same, but it's still, I'm being able to entertain people. I do, like I said, I do those Thursday nights, and I'm able to entertain people. I'm able to let people hop on Facebook or wherever I do it to just kind of escape where they're at.
Sure.
For however long they want to be on there for.
And you're building your social media at the same time, providing a lot out there.
Yeah, that's been the best part, is because you can tag it all, and you're cross marketing to all the platforms, so it's great.
Have you found ways, question from the side, have you found ways to play with other musicians online?
I would say yes. You can't do it live, which is tough, because I have a 7-piece band. So that's a lot of guys to try to get. Like, if we try to do a Zoom call, the lag that's all between it, you'll be playing and singing along, and they'll be trying to play, but you'll be getting it at a different time. But I've been able to write, thankfully. Technology is wonderful right now. You have Zoom, FaceTime, you have all these different platforms that I'm able to connect to people and write songs like we do here in Nashville. But as far as like jamming and playing, you could do like an Instagram live, and you don't play, but they play, and then you trade back and forth. But outside of that, there's no way to my knowledge, there's no way to live in the moment in real time play along with each other.
So when we're watching that on TV and it looks like they're literally harmonizing, is that because are they recording that ahead of time and then just? Oh, okay.
So like Lady Antebellum did a song where it's one of their newer songs, and they released it. They all recorded it. So they're basically taking a camera, videotaping themselves, playing and recording it, and then they're sending that, and then they're cutting it all together to make it look like it's all happening all at once. So that's the other thing, is it's great because you can do that, but none of it is in the moment. There's no right there.
Right, getting that feeling of being up on stage.
Yeah, the camaraderie of being on stage you don't have it.
Do you have a sense for when you'll be able to go out and start doing that again?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
So
It's no. We learn more every day. New
I
information
heard,
comes out every day.
I heard that some of the drive-in movie theaters are starting to create stages so that
Uh-huh.
people can drive in with their cars and at least listen to people, which I think
Yep.
that's kind of a cool way to do
That's
it.
kind of cool. Yeah, they were doing. I know they were doing that in Europe. That could be cool. That could be something. It's just to be able to see people's faces and see
Mhm.
smiles. Cause like I'm playing, and I don't know if people like, like they don't, just kind of roll off. And what's tough is like when you're in a bar and people leave, it's okay because there's still people there. But when I'm playing live and I see like all of a sudden I'm at like 80 something people and now it's down to 70, I'm like, oh shoot, I just lost 12 people. Like maybe I'm not playing the right song. And you can see that in real time. That's a little disheartening.
Now, the flip side of that is you watch people get psyched too.
Yes,
So,
yes, exactly.
right. I love that. So you're friends with our friend Louie Bello, who was our first Entertainment Friday. And I remember Louie and I were talking about that you always think that people that are up performing, they've got it down, they have it figured out. They're just so confident. And he's like, no, I'll look out and be suddenly questioning this or how I look about that. And I love that, for people to realize that you're looking out at the crowd too and wondering how many people are there and are they into it. And
Hmm.
I would think
Well,
that,
a lot of people forget that it's a job. And it's,
right,
while it's not a real job and, you're not working a 9 to 5, my 9 to 5 is 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. And you have to practice. Anybody who's good at what they do, mechanics, teachers, anybody, whatever you do, nurses, whatever you're doing, you have to have a lot of practice for that to be good at it.
right.
But you're still always trying to learn. You're still always questioning things that are going on. It's a process.
And I
I
always,
wouldn't trade it for the world, though. I love it.
your job sounds awesome. I would
It
like
is
a
love.
job that takes me to Maui. That sounds like a good time. Um, Question from the side, where do you look for inspiration for the music you create?
That's a great question. I get it from, I like to write about real life experiences and try to
Mhm.
take one thing that I do a lot of is I work with a nonprofit here in Nashville called Creative Vets. And what they do is they fly veterans to Nashville, combat veterans to Nashville, and they tell their story to songwriters. And then the songwriters write their song so that they have something to take home to their families and to take home to the people that they care about to say, I wasn't able to say this to you. Here's what I've been trying to say. And so
Mhm.
that's where I get a lot of inspiration is just from either talking to people and hearing other people's struggles or stories or whatever, or my own personal, because when you talk about it as from a personal standpoint, you have
Mhm.
more, in my opinion, you have more validity as an artist, and people can actually get involved because then they feel like they know you.
Right. Well, I've also read that if people have seen you live or they watch you regularly on video, they create this connection with you as if they think they do know you, which is
Sure,
fascinating.
sure.
And when you're telling your own story, I would think it's just again a further way to connect with people. Do you write all your own music too?
Yeah, I have. I've only ever cut and put out one song that wasn't a writer on. I really try to be. I mean, in Nashville, there's so many great songwriters here,
Mhm.
and there's songs that are pitched every day.
Mhm.
Um, I'm certainly not against cutting songs because if somebody writes a song and you hear it and you go, "Oh my God, I feel like that was written for me," and you can
Right.
sing that, you can make it believable. Then it
Right.
is your story. Somebody
Right.
else just wrote it. But for
Right.
me, I would love to be the primary songwriter on the stuff that I put out because it has my name attached to it, and I'd like it to to say that I'm not just a singer, I'm not just an entertainer, but I'm a songwriter as well.
So what is it about being in Nashville, right? Because you could be doing essentially the same thing in Boston or
Mhm.
Dallas or anywhere. What
Sure.
is it about being in Nashville that either helps you or that you enjoy about it?
Well, when I moved here, I had never even set foot in Nashville before. Like I had come here one time in that September, and then I moved in February. Nashville, there's an energy here. Everyone is collaborative, and there's no like if you go to, and I haven't lived in LA, but to my knowledge, LA can be kind of cutthroat, and LA can be a little, there's a little bit of a different mentality there. Here in Nashville, it's like a family. No one's trying to undercut people for the most part. You'll run into people who do, but you don't really. But everybody here is trying to help other people. You're trying to help the next person succeed, and if you get to that next level, then you reach down and you help the person below you to get up there because that's what this town is built around. This town is built around the music, and there's so much creativity here. You go out, I go out I don't go out every single night, especially not now. But when you go out, you just see so many people who are creative, and that is inspirational to make you want to be better at whatever the craft is, whether it's playing your instrument or writing or whatever. You go, I wish I had said that. And that's what's different about here. And it's just, there's a music scene everywhere, but it's like, that's the fabric here. So that's what I love about it.
You strike me as the type of person that's always surrounded by people who are good people and trying to help one another, right?
I certainly try. I certainly try. Hey, that's why we're here having a conversation today, right?
Right. Well, if that is the most important thing that you want people to know about you, is that it? Or is there something else that you want to share?
That I'm surrounded by good people?
Surrounded by good people, that your work is about also your philanthropic work. You have everything from the heart. I love it. Where do we find you online?
The best spot is my website, iamchrisferrara.com. That has links to all of my social medias, but it's the same on all of my social medias at iamchrisferrara. That's the best way to find me, and just search my name in any of, wherever you can find music. Just look for Chris Ferrara. But that's what I would leave people with, is that try to leave the world a little bit better than you found it, and that's my whole goal for my career, my life, and how I wake up every day.
I love what the team put on the side here. They've got the Spotify, the Apple Music, your Instagram, your Facebook. You did share that TikTok might not be your thing yet, though.
I'm trying to figure it out. Yeah, I go on. I mean, I can dance, but TikTok, I go on TikTok, and it's all kids who are half my age, and I'm like, I don't know if this is for me. But there are brands on there, so you can make it yours.
But yours is really more of an Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same. I am Chris Ferrara on TikTok. No matter where you find me on every single social media platform, it's I am Chris Ferrara. That's where you find me.
So one thing personal to you that I do want to leave our listeners with is that you had to put off your wedding because of COVID.
Sure did.
So tell us a little bit about what that's been like, and how that affected your songwriting, and you just picked up, or you're getting a dog. Right?
Yeah. So that's a two-part question. So we were supposed to get married in August 23rd, and we were like, if you don't talk about it, it's not gonna be a problem. If we don't bring it up, it won't be a problem. And we kept putting it off, and then finally we got an email from the venue saying that we're only gonna be able to have 50 to 75 people, and that includes staff. And 50 people is our wedding party and our parents. And so we were like, there's no way we can do this. So we might as well wait. So we had to push it off till May of next year. And because we did that, I believe everything happens for a reason. Timing is everything. I've wanted an English bulldog my whole life. And ever since my fiance and I started dating, she wanted one as well. I've just kind of convinced her that was the best dog that you can get. And the other night we were hanging out of the house. We had no power. Because the storm came through and took out power for like 3 days. And we were just hanging out at home, and we had a couple drinks, and we went on petfinder.com, and we found this picture popped up, and we were like, oh my God, who's that? And today, once I get off this call with you, I'm driving with my fiance down to Chattanooga, and we are going to pick up this dog who was rescued by Hero Dog Rescue in Cumming, Georgia. And I've met him, and he's awesome, and I'm so excited to bring him home.
You had shared that with us right before we went on, and so I just wanted everybody to know that because it's such a great story. Do you have a name for him yet?
Beans.
Beans,
as in Boston baked beans and Beantown, and everything to remind us of home.
Your fiance's from Boston too?
She's from Rhode Island, so she's girl. She's a New England girl, born and raised as well. And
so she came down to Nashville with you.
Yeah, I'm very convincing. I convinced her to come down here and hang out with me. And we said, hey, if we're gonna do this, you got to, because this is where my job is. And she came. She trusts me enough to take the trip.
That's awesome. Well, I love that you're with us this Friday and you're taking us out into the weekend. It looks like we're gonna have a great weekend here in Boston. As we've even been on, I'm watching the sun get even brighter. So, Chris, will you take us out on this final
I sure will.
final song?
Sure will.
And I'm going to jump off. I want to thank everybody for this week. It's been such a tremendous week. We have done so much for different charities and different people. And we're going into next week on Monday. We have Sarge. Sarge is a comedian, but he didn't start that way. He actually at one point represented models. And then he kind God, he had a whole modeling, he was, oh my goodness, why am I spacing the word on this? He's representing models. What is that? You're like a rep, right? When you're, thank you. He was an agent for different models, but life took a turn for him. He ended up being homeless in the streets of New York for a year, turned his entire life around, and now he has an unbelievable business as a comedian. He's going to talk about how you can go real high and then real low and bring it back again. He's going to talk about the business of being a comedian and that it's all about being grateful and again, who you surround yourself by. So he'll be here on Monday. So thank you all for joining us. Chris, I'm psyched you're taking us out. Everybody have a great weekend.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Lisa. I appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun. The song I'm going to leave you with is the song I talked about earlier. It's called Social. We donated the first week's proceeds all to the Dennis Leary Firefighters Foundation. It was used by thechive.com as their summer anthem a few years ago. And there's a music video for it. You can check it out on YouTube. This song is called Social, and it's about if you're drinking to be social, well, then socialize. Here you go. This is going to be the last song of the day. Thanks, everybody. I'm Chris Ferrara. Come on. I believe in going with the flow, long as it's headed someplace I want to go. Doing what the Romans do when I'm in Rome. Yeah. I didn't plan on throwing down today, but I'm down for anything except halfway. If you want to light it off, all you gotta do is say so. And I'll say, hey, raise them high, cause any summer night can be the 4th of July. Whoa, oh, here we go again. Gonna party like Bill Murray just walked in. Say, hey, if you're in line to fill up your cup, can you fill up mine? Cause if you're drinking to be social, and so shall I. Oh yeah, so shall I. If you wanna get loud, yeah, that's cool. If you wanna skinny dip, hop in the pool. Only rule is we're gonna break all the rules tonight. I'll say, hey, raise them high, cause any summer night can be the 4th of July. Whoa, oh, here we go again. Gonna party like Bill Murray just walked in. Say, hey, if you're in line to fill up your cup, can you fill up mine? Cause if you're drinking to be social, so shall I. Oh yeah, so shall I. Well, tomorrow will be hurting, but it's gonna be worth it if we party with a purpose. So let's party with a purpose. Hey, raise them high, cause any summer night can be the 4th of July. Whoa, oh, here we go again. Gonna party like Bill Murray moonwalked in. Say, hey, if you're in line to fill up your cup, can you fill up mine? Cause if you're drinking to be social, so shall I. Oh yeah, so shall I. So shall I. Oh yeah, so shall I. Thank you so much, y'all. I'm Chris Ferrara. Thanks for tuning in to Lunch with Lisa.